Hey, it's Matt from Mythic Gaming, and I'm here with our first review ever, and it's going to be for Payday 2, which I will say right off the bat, I highly recommend, and I suggest you buy it, especially if you're a big fan of playing online and with friends, because this game is made for it. Now, this video is going to be a single-player review mostly, just for the fact that I haven't gotten enough time in with the multiplayer, and I don't want to sell it short. So I'll probably have that review up later in the week, just because that's when we'll start getting our time in and we'll make our multiplayer videos. And you know, the multiplayer achievement guides, I'm going to put it there after I've got experience. But as for the single player game, it's actually really enjoyable. It could use some work, especially in the AI department, but it's a small complaint because I was having fun, even though, as you can see, you know, I'm in this video, I have to run around and rob all four of these stores myself because the AI won't help do it. But I really did enjoy myself. And yeah, you don't have to do it like this. You don't have to rob them all simultaneously. You could go from one store to the next. Just remember that you're not going to have any help as far as the actual crime. Your AI is going to follow you, and they're going to shoot, which makes them great for gunfights. But they're not going to rob anything. They're not going to carry any bags. They're not going to pick locks or crack safes. And I think that's because originally this was a multiplayer only game and people asked for single player, so they kind of added that in there for people that wanted it. So I don't think they had enough time with the AI. I'm not sure, but that's just my guess. But I'm not going to let it take a lot away from the game for me because, as you can see, I was still enjoying myself. I mean, I've put 10 to 20 hours into single player and I'm still playing it because it's just really fun and it's really unique. You don't get a lot of games on Xbox that allow you to be the bad guy and commit the perfect heist and put this whole thing together. So just that fact alone has kept me playing. And then they have character customization, and it's not just a little bit. There are 4 skill trees that you can pick your skills from, so you can make your character however you want, whatever you think is going to fit, which is going to be especially great for multiplayer because depending how your teams are put together, you could just be this perfectly stealth team each and every time as long as you did it the right way. Like right now, you can see my guy, his drill takes less time to work, and it's also got the ability to auto start itself, and that's just for the fact that I don't always have time or am able to run around and babysit all of them, especially if there's a giant police assault in between me and the other drill. Now, when I do multiplayer, I'm not going to be the drill guy because I've seen enough drills in the last 2 days to last me a lifetime. But still, I mean, that's just a small issue I have with it. The only other issue I have with single player is that on the missions where you have to get 4 bags of money or 6 bags of jewelry or something like that, you're going to be a mule because they're not going to help you carry. The AI is just not there for that. So you're going to have to move each bag yourself from place to place until you finally get it into the escape van, which is really tedious. But thankfully there's not a lot of missions that do that. I mean, there's a couple of them that are really a pain in the ass, but there's not too many of them, and you could kind of avoid them if you want to. You don't have to follow certain missions. You can really do whatever you want. And you'll see that when you play. When you go to pick a mission, they show a map of the city, and missions randomly pop up, and you know, you get a description, see what they are. So you can pick the ones you like, and the ones you want to avoid, just go ahead and avoid them. I mean, you don't have to do them, which is really nice because it just makes for a better experience, and you can more craft the experience to yourself, and it's pretty fun. I mean, there's even rewards after a mission. After you're done, not only do you get your money and your experience, but you also get what's called a payday, where you pick 1 of 3 cards, and depending what that card is, you could get a weapon mod, mask crafting materials, you know, the mask itself, or even just extra cash. And there's also a Joker card, which I've seen twice now, but I never picked it, so I have no idea what it does. But I'm gonna assume it's just a rare item. I guess just is a silly word to use, but I'm assuming it's a rare item. And then the missions themselves are dynamic. So you could play the same mission, like say the one I'm playing, which is 4 stores. You could play it 10 times, and the experience could be different every time, even if you're in single player. Because the position of the safes, the guards, the escape vehicles, things like that, even the security cameras, they change. So you can't just like charge in and expect to know where everything is, because it's just not going to work. So there's some thought process involved even in single player. So I really like it. I mean, you don't see that a lot. And then the other thing is, with the missions, there's different difficulties. You don't just pick one at the beginning. It's depending on mission. Like, you could see the same job, say this one, 4 stores on the map in 2 different places, and one of them is going to be normal difficulty, and one of them could be either very hard or overkill, which obviously gives more experience and more money. But you can, it kind of make it what you want it to be. You want to do the hardest things possible, go for it, or you just want to have easy street for a while, that's all up to you. And then not only that, but the missions aren't just always one mission. Like this one is just rob 4 stores and get away. That's all there is to it. There's some that are 3 days long or 5 days long, which means that there's 5 separate missions that would have to be done in a 5-day job. And sometimes they even throw in random events like, your van crashed and you have to escape, which also adds to the length of that mission. And I've even seen a mission to where, I think it's you're stealing paintings and you go trade them in like the second day of the mission. And, one time it works out perfectly, they give you your money, you get away just fine. And the next time, that you get betrayed, they give you your money and you go to leave and there's just a giant SWAT team ready to destroy you, which I know sounds like a pain in the ass, but it's really fun because it keeps you invested the whole time. And I can't say that about a lot of games, so I'm really happy with that. And then as far as achievements go, a lot of them are going to be multiplayer based. I mean, yeah, you could do some of them, run single player, and they'll be really hard on single player, but on multiplayer you can see that they're kind of made for that. And it's going to be a much easier playthrough, and you've got friends to help and that type of thing. I mean, I'll put more videos about that later, but there are some, because you'll see, I've made a video, and you'll notice, though, there's a couple easy achievements that are just right there in front of you that you can get, but if you're looking to get all of them in this game, you're going to want to play on live, because it's going to be necessary. As for anything else with this game, I'm really happy with it. I was waiting for it for a while, and it came out, and for the first hour I was a little iffy on it, but it really grew on me as single player, and I can't wait to sink my teeth in the multiplayer. So as soon as I do, I'll be sure to have that video up and get it out to you. But as for the game itself, I highly, highly, highly recommend it, and I think everybody should at least check it out, and I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. And that's about it for this first review. Let me know if you liked it, what else you want me to talk about, if there's something I missed, and otherwise I will see you next time.